Welcome to Conscious Coupling, where Frederick Gobet and Christy Whitman share their experiences of creating a conscious, connected relationship. Every week, they give practical tools, steps, and processes to help you find the loving connection with your partner. Let's get into today's conversation with Frederick and Christy.
Hello, this is Christy and Frederick, and if you want to create a couplehood that you absolutely dream of, go to connectedcoupling.com. And today we are talking about the ing in coupling.
So I was told to say all that in French now.
Go ahead.
Bonjour, ici Frédéric et Christy. Alors, on est ici pour vous montrer notre épisode de podcast. Et on aimerait tous avoir une meilleure relation ensemble. Donc voilà en français. The website is connectedcoupling.com.
Ooh, sexy. That's why I'm married and right there. Mm-hmm. All right, so the ing in coupling. So we've had people ask us, well, why are you coupling? Right? So we want to share that, being a couple, it's like you get a couple, you get into a couple, you get into a relationship. And it's not like it's a college degree. You don't graduate from Arizona State University with a degree and then forevermore it's the same. Or you don't, like I have a coaching certification program. You don't get a coaching certification and then boom, you have this certification. It is a verb. It is something that you do on a daily basis. It's like we talk about familying. Excuse me, familying.
Familying.
It's a verb.
Doing things with the family.
Yeah, so we're familying. All of us are humaning. We are being human beings. We are learning how to be a spiritual being in a human body dealing with the regular everyday stuff. We're humaning, right? So we are coupling. We are in a couple, a committed couple that wants to grow our relationship on a daily basis, wants to be able to have fun and receive and give love and to release the resentments and the hurts and the things of the past, and to be able to really enjoy and having a dream life together and have it be really just...
And stay connected to each other. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I got connected.
And yes, we want to stay connected, continue to be connected to each other, even after 11 years.
12.
11 years married.
Okay.
We are still learning things about each other, and that's the
Yes.
beauty of being in a coupling relationship.
Yes, it's like adulting. When you are learning how to actually be an adult and not come from your 6-year-old that's running the show, not being controlled by your emotions or the things of your past. You're being an adult. You're in the present moment. You're being able to ask for what you want, coming from the I, looking for preferences. You're not in the drama triangle, which we're going to talk about on other episodes, but you're really being an adult. You're adulting. You're going to work, you're paying the bills, you're choosing what you want to do. Just like that, it's coupling. So in your couple and coupling, it's a verb, right? So it's something that it's like energy. Every single day, your couple needs to be fed. And so we have to look at, each individual in the relationship needs to look at, what are we feeding it with? Are we giving this relationship the love and receiving the love so that there's this beautiful, it's almost like an infinity symbol of this beautiful exchange of energy and love? Or by me closing my heart because I'm resentful about something, or I'm frustrated about something, or I have a perspective that I'm not being supported in some way, that's places where I'm closing down my heart and I'm closing down my energy, and only so much energy can then go out and also be received. So it's up to us individually to say, where am I closing down my heart? And to be able to recognize places where I have a misbelief or I have a limitation when it even comes to him or our relationship, and be willing to do that work. So one thing I wanted to bring up is, we wanted to do this show, and there's a deep reason that we wanted to do the show, and I'd love for you to share your perspective and why you felt so compelled to not only do this kind of work together and for other people, but to do the show.
Right. Well, there are a couple of reasons why, I was ready to do this show together. Number one, we've always created together out of the space of love, right? Everything that we've done together as a couple, whether it's create our family, our boys, creating, wonderful places to live in, our houses, just creating our vacations together. Yes, wonderful. I was going to say wonderful adventures when we decide where we want to go together. I mean, all of that it's been created in the space of love together.
And now our puppy.
And now our puppy, yes. It is always, for us, that's the main idea. When we create something, we create it from that space of love together. That's when it flows well for us.
Well, let me just say this too, from a manifestation perspective, love is the highest vibration. It's the highest energy in the universe. It's the closest to God's self, Christ's self, divine self, however you want to term that. Excuse me. But it is your alignment with that flow of energy, with that pure positivity. That is the highest vibration to create anything from. And when you have a partner in a co-creative relationship, when you're coming with the purest intention to create from a space of love, that with that intention and with that application of that intention, really opening your hearts and what would we love, what would we prefer, that makes it flow so much more. And the end result, the end manifestation is more fun, more enjoyment, more love, more connection, more support, all the things that we all want in our relationship.
Right. And so for me, what happened is initially when we started our relationship, it was a wonderful relationship, and we started hitting some obstacles,
bumps,
or some things that were kind of bringing our attention into, I guess, pushing our buttons to places where I was doing some things that I wasn't aware of, that I learned, or it was part of my programming, and it wasn't serving me inside my relationship with her. And it was creating some confusion, it was creating some hurt, there was pain around it, frustration, resentment. And until I started looking at, all right, what am I doing that is causing her hurt? So, and obviously that hurt was hurting me. It was painful to see that she was in a space of hurt and anger, and I was wondering what's happening. Why is she in that space? So we all have these moments in a relationship where we're wondering what's going on with the partner. Why is she reacting or he reacting in that way? And sometimes we have to kind of dig deep and look at ourselves and look at each other, and maybe there is something that we're doing that is causing all of that. And so the only way that I could do that, it was to work with someone. And after I did work with that person helped us a lot in our couple. So fast forward to a couple years ago, actually a year ago, maybe, I started being more open to doing some couple stuff, right? And actually working. The more we were working on our couple, the more I would see the benefits for other couples as well. And I guess I can talk about my background too. Is I come from my programming. It comes from the space of having two parents that got into a divorce, and I was telling Christy that's the end place, right? My parents ended up getting a divorce. So yes, that is a place in me where there is a split, right? I'm confused, or I was confused about the divorce because I was 16 years old when that happened. I was into my teens, I guess, and really wasn't paying attention to the result of that, what it would do to me, and there was a result. There was I guess a point where it affected my relationship in that space. So because of that, because of the fact that my parents were divorced or got into a divorce, I started realizing that there was this pain point inside of me, and there was this I guess it kind of touched there were some feelings that I got when I
It was like a raw nerve, yeah.
It's a raw nerve inside of me that was touched, because I could feel when other couples were into, a similar situation where they weren't necessarily happy with each other. So that came to get me, and the more I did my work, my individual work, the better my relationship became with Christy. And so for me,
can I just say something too? It's really interesting. I don't want to interrupt you. And I want you to talk about how when you grew up, you had the love and what you wanted.
Exactly.
But but I want to say this is that it's really interesting that I totally lost what I was going to say. Yep, go ahead. So yeah.
So the end result, yes, they've gotten into a divorce, but there's also the spectrum of what did I see how did I see my parents' relationship? And I was telling you, Christy, about that yesterday. It's like there was a lot of love in their relationship. I could see two people that were very much in love when they were together before I guess that space of divorce. At the end of their relationship, there was this time where they were madly in love with each other. They spent many years together, creating these wonderful vacations for the family. I was the only child for 13 years, basically, until my sister came in, and so yes, we had a very, very, very good relationship together. They had a very good relationship together.
You were saying you saw them kiss, you saw them hug, you saw affection.
Yes, exactly. I saw how close they were together, and I think that also was a good programming for me, because I'm able to share my love with Christy in that same kind of way, right? So I was telling her, yes, there's parts of me that were like, I've got that raw nerve with having to live with a divorce, but that's what I had to work on, basically, right? Those are the issues that came up that were not benefiting me in the relationship that I had.
That's what I wanted to say, is that you were defending against the full fear of losing the relationship.
Yeah.
So he wanted what his parents had as a young kid. He wanted the love, the affection, the display of love, and having that feeling of having both parents. Because as a child, if you have kids, it's good to know this. It's like a triangle. Your area of who you find yourself to be and your fulfillment is mother, father, child, or male, female, child. And so when the parents split, it's like, who do I go with? And even if your parents were married, like mine were, and they still are for 64 years or something like that, the conflict in their relationship, if my mom and my dad had very different views of something, for me as the child, I'm like, who am I loyal to? Who do I want to be like? Who do I want to align with here? And so there could be that split too. I mean, I know for years I had a split with money, where my mom would put people that had money on a pedestal, whereas my dad would criticize and judge people that had money. So it's like, where's my loyalty? And then when I started making my own money, I could see the split in me, because it was like I would make a lot and then I would start to sabotage and lose it to be loyal to my dad, because I don't want to have too much money, because then what if I'm judging myself, or what if someone else judges me, or what if my dad judges me? So it was that total split. And so within him, he saw his parents having this amazing relationship, saw what it was like, felt what it was like, knows what he wants in a relationship.
So was in that energy, right?
Yes.
Because as children, we grow up in the energy of our parents, right? In that energy field.
Yes.
So that's true. I felt that energy of love. I felt that energy of them being connected together.
Yes.
Them sharing a beautiful relationship.
And then when it started to go sideways, he and his relationship was so protective and so closed down and so fearful that it was like, I want to do everything just to please her. I want to walk on eggshells just so that she's happy and that she's not angry, so that I keep my relationship. And so he was functioning in our relationship out of so much fear. And within him, the fear demonstrated that he would shut down and go within, and I couldn't find him.
Talk about putting walls. For me, it
Yes.
was like that. I had some walls that were impenetrable. So
Yes.
she couldn't see me. She couldn't see the emotions. What kind of emotions I had? Was I happy? Was I sad? Was I mad, loving?
He was just always
fearful?
there.
Yeah,
But there was no reaction.
Yeah, so living in the fear, in the space of, when am I going to lose that wonderful relationship that I've built, right? And so this is near and dear to my heart. The coupling, as we were saying, making other people kind of understand how to be connected with each other, and just confirming that doing the work, the individual work is essential. And I think that once the individual work is there is a space also to do the couple work.
Yeah, because
together.
I mean, I don't care if you're a famous actor or actress, if you're, one of these people that are in motivation, or a person that is an athlete, people that live a high level life and that have complete alignment in their lives, they do have coaches, they have mentors. And it's no different for if you want to have that expanded, really connected level of a relationship, because most people didn't learn this stuff. I mean, his example was massively in love to divorce. And there were things along the way that could have been corrected and fixed. We see this with couples that we have counseled and coached. We see this with friends of ours. We see this with people that we know from the kids' school, where it's like all of a sudden it's this, and then it goes into a divorce. And it doesn't have to be that way, because what happens is typically it's the woman, right? Typically, I'm not saying it always is, but it's the woman that is wanting some type of improvement in the relationship, or wanting to work on the relationship, and frustrated because the partner doesn't want to, right? It's usually one in the relationship. It could be the man or the woman that finds that there's something going askew and that we need some kind of help, or asking for something to change, and the other person just isn't willing to take the change. And what do you do with a person that's like growing and they want to have they want to have that dream relationship, they want to feel that connection that they felt maybe in the beginning, but their partner is like, nope, we're not applying anything, we're not doing anything, this is where we're at. And that's really what it was like for your dad. Your mom was asking for change, your mom was saying and communicating the ways that she was displeased. Who knows, we weren't there, maybe not in the most skillful way that he could hear, but I think even if she did say it in the most skillful way, and doing it in what we have now learned in our relationship, would your dad have heard her?
Well, that's it. I mean, because the same thing happened to us. For me, that's why I was protecting my relationship, right? I was telling you, this is my intimate relation. I don't want anybody to be involved in the intimacy of my relationship. Why should I talk to someone about what's going on in our relationship? This is between you and I. This is a sacred space. This is our nucleus. And for me, it was, I don't feel good about sharing this with anybody else. And until I was able to open up and see that there was advantages of doing that, of just talking about my own feelings, where I was, maybe I had some ideas or some views that weren't necessarily, again, helping me out in my relationship, and understanding also where she's coming from, right? How come she was feeling so much fear, so much anger? It might not have been because frustration might not be totally because of what I was doing, but what I was bringing to the relationship was kind of making her react and pushing her own buttons that she lived. And so I got to understand that.
Which were my own buttons that I needed to figure out and needed to communicate. But there was a breaking point where, and I've seen this, we've seen this, we see this going all the time, where it's like the one person has communicated what they need, had said, I'm thinking about ending the relationship because I just can't handle it this way anymore. I could settle, but I'm just not. I don't want to settle. I'm not into just like having you as a roommate anymore and just dealing with the daily stuff. I want romance. I want connection. I want to have like awesome toe curling sex and all the things. Woo! That just got me. Just the thought of it. Let me just take a moment. Just all that kind of stuff. And that you want to live, you want to have life and passion in your relationship. If one person is not willing to grow and evolve, now it doesn't mean like, well, you're trying to change who I am as a person. Frederick, since he's released a lot of his imprinted stuff, a lot of the fears that were holding him back, since all that is gone and he's no longer afraid of me and he's telling me, hey, I don't appreciate when you talk to me like that, or that didn't feel good for me, or hey, that was an ouch, but he's more of himself than he ever has,
and more into the relationship together.
Yeah,
right?
but your
It's
personality,
not a
it's like I get to know you now. Your humor comes out more, and you're letting me see who you are because you're not this rigid person afraid to make a move because you're afraid to ruin the relationship. Right. And so it's like the more you evolve and the more you grow, your personality, which is truly who you are, comes out, and I love you even more. It's like I am more in love with you today than the first day I met you. And it's because you're more of you. You're exposing more. You're allowing more yourself. You're being more free in the love that you give and what you receive. And you're authentically who you are, becoming more of you each day. But it's like the more you show me is the more I get to love him. And so it wasn't him that I wanted to change. He's essentially who he is. It was the kind of like not caring what I felt, feeling like I had to do it all, or that I was alone, or that I was having to pull stuff out of him just to get an opinion or something. And it's like that all that bondage clay crap that was like holding his heart in place, wasn't allowing him to come out. That's all gone. And it's like now I get to be with Frederick and I get to have fun. I mean, we have issues that come up, but we laugh now instead of arguing.
Right, they're not as intense. I mean, we have stuff that comes up that are,
we have to
be
discuss.
Way intense, and now we just look at the options and we can clear them out really, really quickly.
And laugh about them. I think we laugh more in our relationship now than we ever have.
Right.
Just about goofy stuff. So
don't wait till moments, and it's true for me as well. It was I did wait for the moment. It was a time in our lives where it was either I was going to get some help, or it was the relationship was going to suffer from it.
It was a make or break situation.
So
yeah.
It's sad that's what happens in a lot of relationship. So we are, again, one of the reasons why we're doing this is so that people don't necessarily wait till that happens, that last moment where the relationship is about to end.
You're fed
it's
up.
Either we do something about it or you don't, and already those moments are those are where it's already going downhill from there. So again, one of the reasons why we want to do that is to say this is we're there for coaching. It's not a therapy session. We want to look ahead. We want to look forward in the space of coaching that we do with you.
Creating a vision and
right, and so. I mean, if you want to have some of that coaching with us, you feel that, we are the people to coach with you. Go to connectedcoupling.com and fill out the form.
Yeah, so like if you're feeling frustration about something that happened in the past and you're having a hard time letting go of that stuff, we're actually going to do our next episode on releasing resentments and hurts next week. So be sure to tune into that. But if you're feeling justified, like I'm right, I mean, what he did was inexcusable, or, well, I don't even know how to forgive. These are things that we can help you with. So you can go to connectedcoupling.com because, we say the 3-step process, and there's a lot that goes into these 3-step process, but from like a big overview, it's got to release the stuff of the past. If you've got some time committed into the relationship, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 25, however long you've been, You had some hurts and resentments along the way, and everything is energy. And if you've closed down your heart to that person, that energy is still in there. And in order to really have the relationship thriving, you have to be able to open your heart and flow the energy to what you want. So for today, for the action steps, is number one, is that you have to look at your coupling as a verb, as something you're doing on a daily basis. And you have to ask yourself, what am I doing to either feed this relationship with love or deteriorate this relationship? Because one or both is happening. And if nothing's happening, it's just staying stagnant. And with energy, the energy doesn't stay stagnant. It creates a vortex of something. It has to move. So when you're actively looking for things that you love in your partner, things that's that Ramon song, what I like about you, thinking about that in your head. You don't even have to communicate it, but thinking about those things and looking at the positive aspects, that's feeding your relationship. Doing things for your partner, compliments, doing acts of service, all those beautiful things that you can do to feed the relationship, to pay a nice compliment, to write a nice love note or a nice text, to say some words of appreciation. You're feeding the relationship in the right way, and it's something you have to do on a daily basis. It's a coupling. It's not a couple. It's not something you put on a shelf. It's something you're living in every single day. So, final words?
Be positive.
Be positive. But you know what? Be positive, but you gotta release the stuff that's there, because naturally we are positive. But if we have so many hurts and resentments and beliefs, and I'll share this on another episode so we can wrap up today, but I just had something that came up 2 weeks ago where I felt I wasn't supported by him. And it all came up, and it was an opportunity for me to clear it out so that I didn't hold on to that. And that's what's really important, is that recognizing within yourself, not making it about him, but recognizing in yourself, where am I holding this negative energy to want to keep holding on to it, even though I could probably justify it, or I could say, hey, I'm right, he was wrong, or whatever it was. How is that feeding your relationship? So really look at, where are you in relation to your relationship, and where are you taking responsibility for the energy that you're giving in that relationship? Next episode, we are going to do a process on releasing hurts and resentments. Till next week, everyone, go to connectedcoupling.com. Thanks, everyone.
See you soon.
Thanks for listening to Conscious Coupling with Frederick Gobet and Christy Whitman. If you like our show and want to know more, check out ChristyWhitman.com. And please leave us a review on iTunes. Learn how to turn your partner into your soulmate. Join us again next week for another powerful episode.